All right, everybody, MMS live from Talladega. 50 laps on deck tonight. Practice for the upcoming SummerSlam 499 with a little bit of money racing involved with it. As always, I got Hunter Zill back in the booth tonight. Hunter, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
My buddy, hope you ain't got any aggravating noise canceling headphones. Not tonight, huh?
Nah, not tonight, man.
All right, I'm going to get my screen shared with you here so we can call qualifying. Pretty sure that's the entire screen, yeah. So qualifying on deck here. Hunter, you raced a few of these races with a couple of guys. Is there anybody in your mind that sticks out tonight that you think's got a good shot at winning it?
Uh, from the last couple races I've ran, I know Daniel Falkingham. He ran in one, and then Malik Ray won the one I ran in last night. So they did really good. So I was spotting for a guy that grenaded his engine running third behind Falkingham. So um, was hoping for a better finish there, but those would be the two that I would keep my eye on if they're deciding to run.
I'll throw in another one for you if he's in the field. He is indeed in the field tonight. Joshua McCullough coming off a win in HGR earlier tonight. So McCullough looking to do the Sunday sweep, both MMS and HGR. He's got to go through it's probably a star-studded field consisting of Gerald Hayes, just to name a few. Jared Haynes, sorry. Kenneth McCullough, Richard Elliott, Steve Sizemore, as you mentioned, Malik Ray, and Falkenham. Right now, Justin Johnson looks to be the first driver to start posting a lap. So right now, Johnson rolling out. He's the only one that's really rolling out on track right now. 8 minutes to post a lap. And Hunter, really, how important is qualifying for one of these races, or does it not matter really?
I mean, I think it's important to get a good lap to see how your car feels. I mean, I would say it's important, but I've qualified up at the front, I've qualified at the back, and with these plate races, it's hard to say. It's great starting up front. You've got good track position, and hopefully the big one happens behind you. But starting at the back's not the bad thing either, and hopefully you can keep it clean and stay out of the wrecks that happen in front of you there.
That'll be the big key tonight, of course. A lot of these drivers got about all over in the SummerSlam 499 coming up. A lot of these drivers trying to get in last-minute practice. As a matter of fact, I just saw where that race was posted here.
You may need to share your screen with me. That way I can see what's going on.
I did. There, I just set it up again.
Yeah, worked that time there.
Well, at the line, Justin Johnson to post the first lap. The qualifying time to beat at the line, Johnson. 52.197. Not bad for Justin trying to get his footing whenever it comes to the money races. Been up front before, but it's had a string of bad luck, as this man, Steve Sizemore, starting on pole in the HGR race earlier. Unfortunately, was not the run that the driver of the 8 was looking for. Michael Wingo on deck. I want to ask you, Hunter, coming from a driver who does race, how hard is it to really shake the bad luck streaks?
I always try to keep my head in a race, no matter how many laps down I am. I know last night I went 3 laps down and finished in the lead lap, like mid-pack. So I feel like when you get down, it's a good thing to try to keep your head in it. But I mean, at these plate racetracks, it's so much uncertainty going into them. So I mean, I feel like if you go in with an open mind and if you finish top 10. I mean, it's a good points day. I mean, obviously, with these money races, it's not. But, I mean, I would just be looking to finish in the money slots. I wouldn't be really concerned about winning. If I win, great. But I'd be looking to get a little bit of money there.
Rightfully so. Steve Sizemore will knock Justin Johnson off with a 154 lap time. Michael Wingo slots in with a 52.368. Several other drivers coming out. Jared Haynes, one of them. Dawson Wise right behind him, the 27 of Justin Millicar. A lot of drivers know Millicar from the Midnight Racing League. Looking to have a good race tonight. You got to go through a star-studded field, though. Let me check something real quick. Okay, no, that's just one. So the next one to try to knock Steve Sizemore off the pole will be Jared Haynes. Right behind him, Dawson Wise, the 27 of Justin Millicar. Just saw him. Then the 22, Chris Somers. Gotta say, that's a sweet looking number one. And not just because I'm a Chevrolet guy, but that's a pretty sweet basic paint job. While we're at it here, I want to tell you another one, Hunter, the one to look at if I can get an eye on him. Sean Corbett had a lot of great runs over the summer, really. Unfortunately, like Sizemore and several others, the luck just is not there. But Corbett's always a threat to watch when it comes to these. Right now, Jared Haynes on track for the pole, fastest in the first half of the racetrack at the line. He's got it, 52.146. Millicar top of the board. Now, Hunter, I'm assuming you've ridden these Gen 6s before at Daytona and Talladega. I know you have, actually. What are some of the things new drivers getting used to these cars? What is something they got to expect with these and how they handle and how they drive?
I mean, with these cars, I feel like you've got a lot more downforce. I personally enjoy racing these a lot more, at other racetracks too. But I mean, with the plate racetracks, these things grab the corners really easy. They kind of just hook their line and they go. I mean, really, if it was me, I would just get comfortable with my car the first couple laps, kind of see what my car can and can't do. These cars are really good with pushing, just from what I've ran in them. So I personally enjoy them, which hopefully that'll make for some exciting racing tonight.
Hopefully so. One will hope. The big thing, though, that these cars, from what I've heard from several drivers, you see Trevor Aswarnoff starting his qualifying run here with just over 2 minutes. But the one thing I've heard a lot of drivers say with these cars, it is extremely easy to lose the draft in a hurry.
From my experience, yes. I definitely wouldn't want to be telling Charlie just because they can lose the draft pretty easily. But then, telling Charlie you're going to be burning way more gas too to try to keep up with that pack in these cars. So, I mean, if it was me, I would just want to work together with people, and try to stay in a pack. I would try to have people behind me and, not lose that draft, because if you do, ultimately, you're going to go at least a lap down.
For sure, right now, Nash Brambilla was at top of the board. The 6 of Cody will take that away just as quick. Trevor Aswarnoff, top of the second quickest. Top of the outside row, pretty much. A little too far ahead of myself there. Who's going to take it next with 57 to go? Nobody really. 88 of Kenny Real, he's going to back out of it. Zachariah Cartledge at the line. Sprinkle will clock in 7th quickest. The 2 were Cartledge in 11th. Gotta say, I'm a little surprised a lot of other drivers are not posted a lap. Still half the field not posted a qualifying lap, and a lot of them's not going to. Bobby Rochelle will slide in 14th. I'm actually kind of surprised Casey Sprinkle went 7th quickest, knowing how he's such a great qualifier. Sprinkle 6th, 7th, and Cody will look to be on the pole for this one. Well, Hunter, getting ready to start here. What's going through your mind? What's going through the nerves for pretty much any driver up here tonight? Is there any mental preparation, anything to check off before you get rolling here?
I mean, for me, just trying to make sure I stay out of trouble. Some of these races you have a faster pair, and some of them you don't. I'm not sure what this race has tonight, but
None.
I always try to stay out of trouble. Obviously, ultimately, at the end of the day, sometimes you can't. But if it was me, I'm trying to figure out a way how to stay out of trouble. And if I'm at the back, how can I get to the front without getting caught up in one, or what can I do to manage my fuel load to run the longest, or figuring out who my friends are, out of the gate. Who can I work with? Who can I, who's not going to work with me? Which I'm sure every driver right now, as they're gridding up here, is thinking somebody, something completely different. So it'll be exciting to see how this shapes up.
Well, of course, coming up, unfortunately, we're not able to interview. Unfortunately, we're not able to really interview the 6 here. Let me know if the screen keeps going black on your side, or can you still see it?
No, you're good on my end.
Okay, well then, that being said, we'll go ahead and roll through the field here. Of course, it's not 45 laps. Some stuff hasn't updated yet. 50 laps tonight. If you want to roll through the Fast 12, it's all yours, buddy.
All right, starting on pole, we've got Cody Neagles. And then starting second, we've got Trevor Aswarnoth. Starting third, Nash Brambilla. Fourth, Sean Corbett. Fifth, Justin Melachar. Sixth, Jared Haynes. Rolling off seventh, we have Casey Sprinkle. Starting eighth, we have Steve Sizemore. Ninth, we have Dawson Wise. Rolling off 10th, we have Tanner Kassinger. Starting 11th, we have Zachariah Cartledge. And rolling off 12th, we have Justin Johnson.
13th through 24th, Chris Summers and Bobby Rochelle. 13th, 14th, Michael Wingo, Jacob Carter. 15th, 16th, Daniel Funkingham, Malik Ray. Two favorites every time we come to this type of money racing. They're 17th and 18th, Wyatt Gray, Stephen Miles, 19th and 20th. Landon, 62 of Landon, rolls off 21st. 64, Joey Masavage in 22nd. Kenny Real, Richard Elliott, 23rd and 24th. And if you want to take over the last bit of the drivers, all to you, buddy.
21st.
Well, 25th.
25th. 25th, we've got Austin Green. 26th, Joshua McCullough. 27th, John Ward. 28th, Kenneth McCullough Jr. 29th, David Sheets. 30th, we've got Brody Landry. 31st, we've got Mark Vondel. And rolling off in last, we've got Nathan Harper.
A lot of big names coming. A lot of big names in the back. Just to name a few, Ward. Both the McCulloughs, Austin Green. A pretty decent group up front. Of course, Cody Neagles. Trevor Aswarnoth, just to name a few. Just to name a couple, really. Sean Corbett. Casey Sprinkle is always a threat here. All right. So 32 guys on hand. I think this is the second biggest second biggest turnout to be broadcasted on here, next to the Inspired 250 all those months ago where we have 40. And it's Kobe Niggles and Trevor Asronoff brings them down to United Rental restart zone. 50 laps on deck. The end of Sunday night. We're rolling. Side by side off for 2. Third lane already jumping up to answer your question. Hunter, there's no fast repairs in this. Whatever damage you got, you're stuck with it. So it really is going to be interesting how these guys decide to really run this race tonight.
Yeah, they're being pretty aggressive early. They're jumping up to the top side, trying to get that high lane formed. As we see a couple more cars jump in line there.
See Cody all the way up to block the 39 of 39-23 Brambilla. Well, no, 23 is at the bottom. And man, they're already four wide already on lap 2. Who needs a fast repair anyway? Casey sprinkled down to the apron. A couple drivers already down. We see the 23 of Nash all the way from top floor to bottom floor and right back up to the top. Miller cars working up on the inside lane. Are you surprised? Oh, there they go!
Caution is out. Caution is out.
God almighty, there it goes.
They're still wrecking.
Looking good. God almighty. Not even a lap 1. Already under caution. Was it a matter of if or when, though?
I think it was a matter of when. Come to lap 3 there, and they're already 3 and 4 wide, really aggressive early. So I think it was just a matter of when.
See what happens. It's from Michael Wingo's perspective of things. Looks like maybe the 89 maybe came down, get a look. Dang. Wingo tried to get through in the bottom. Unfortunately, it closed up. So let's see. We're going to try to find Trevor Aswarnoth through this. Go ahead and rewind the footage all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Let's really just look at this material out down the back straightaway. Hunter, tell me what you see from a race car driver's perspective.
So it looks like he gets a little bit of a shot here from the 45 on his right rear. May have got him just a little bit loose. He came down, pinched the 19, and then just shot up the track and collected everybody that was behind him.
Unfortunately, that includes the list of Michael Wingo, Sean Corbett, Joey Misavage, just to name a few. See if we can't ride on board with a couple of drivers here. Let's see. First one that I see comes up to mind. We'll go back with Michael Wingo on the nose cam.
Just nowhere to go.
He tried to roll out of it. He already get off the gas. He was thinking, hey, maybe I'll miss it, but unfortunately, it ran out just as quick as it came.
Although he doesn't look like he's got too much damage there on his front end from what we can see.
Right on board with Sean Corbett is right in the thick of this. Yeah, so Corbett really nowhere to go. He's going to get blasted by Wingo. Justin Johnson, you see him in that 82. Not what you want to see early, especially with a race with no fast repairs. We'll go back up to the front here. Nash Brambella, Justin Millicar, Cody Niggles, Daniel Funkingham, Dawson Wise. That is your top 5. We'll post that up there on the top so we get back rolling here. All right, first caution tonight. Let's see. See if we can't go and pull up Michael Wingo through this. Michael Wingo, Garrett Jenkins, Hunter Rozelle up here in the booth. You got a quick copy?
Gotcha.
Well, buddy, it was a man. Not how you want to start off this race. How's pretty messed up is the car right now?
Yeah, there's something crazy going on. There's just guys just driving up through everybody. I don't. Something wasn't right about that start.
No, sir, buddy. It was not. How, like I said, how damaged is the car right now? Is it pretty killed, or do you feel like you can get it fixed, get it back out there?
I had 4 minutes worth of damage, but it's not real major damage. As long as this is, I should be able to get it repaired by the time it last 10 laps or so. Depending on how many cautions it is, I might be able to get it repaired quicker than that.
All right, buddy. We look forward to seeing how it plays out. Right now, Michael Wingo has to come front and back with a battery race car. Appreciate your time, buddy.
We'll see you both.
You're still good on. You can still see him on the screen. You can still see your screen, can't you?
It just says stream paused on my end for right now.
Jesus Christ. I got you. That being said, we'll go ahead and rewind it. There you go. So right now, 45 to go. You just had a massive caution. Is this kind of a wake-up call? Be like, maybe it's just time to ride.
I'm not sure. I figured the drop of the green flag would be a eye opener there for him to just kind of ride. You know, it's 50 laps. So we've got a long race. You can't win it on the second and third lap. I would be trying to put myself in position to win, but I wouldn't be trying to win it that quick.
No, sir. Right now, if I'm out there, it's just right in the back. I'll worry about getting to the front with about 20 to go. Then I'll start making moves. Because at that point, 20 to go, you know, all bets, gloves will start to come off. There's going to be less give, more take. Unfortunately, we started off with more take, less give here, but going to re-rack it here. Nash Brambilla, Justin Millicar, your front row, bringing them down. Surprised to see Daniel Falkenham up there early. Normally he's one of them, he'll ride in the back, save as much gas as what he can. All right, Hunter. Pace car's in. Take two. Kind of interesting to see that the 23 is taking the outside lane. Unless him and Falkenham has something planned here. We'll have to see a great jump by the 23 as they go up through the gears and down into turn number one. And bottom lane really did not get the jump that they needed. It's going to really hurt them as they come off of turn two. Great jump by the 23. Hunter, are you surprised by that at all?
No. From what I've seen in these races and the races I've run in, everybody wants to run that top. The top is usually the quickest lane to get organized. It takes the bottom just a little bit more time, but I think once we see the bottom lane,
gosh, they're wrecking in the back
bumper
again.
to bumper.
Wrecking in the back again. Joshua McCullough, Brody Landry, Michael Wingo involved in it. Just talking to him. It's going to be a rough night for that 25, ain't it?
I would say so. Coming with 4 minutes of damage from the first wreck to getting caught up in this one again, I would say he's probably going to be done for the night off that one.
Surprisingly, not a meatball flag here. We'll see how hard it was. Go ahead and look at the replay here. Where does this start? It's probably going to start. Well, here comes Kevin McCullough. Oh.
Just gave him a bad bump and turned him.
Man, McCullough tried to get through it on the inside the 18. Taking evasive action. All right, hold on. Hold on. There's something don't seem right about this picture here. Bad bump maybe, but something just don't seem right with this picture here. Let's look at it from Kenneth McCullough's, not Kenneth McCullough, but Joshua McCullough's standpoint. A bump to the 03. Okay, yeah, I see what it is. 03 gets put in the meat.
Looks like they just got it stacked up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, looks like the 03 gets stuck in the middle, and from there, the 15 will give him a shove, gives the 30 a shove in the wind going, yeah, an accordion-like effect. Unfortunately, for the 18 and the 25, in what looks like the 30, be their second incidents of the night. We'll look at it one more time. Pushing. Not a good idea to push. They push anyway. Just trying to make up time, try to get back to the draft, unfortunately. For Joshua McCullough, it's a hard lick, and the 2 in a row sweeping the Sunday nights are done. Or at least hurt severely.
The big things with these cars is you really can't push in the corners. You know, I usually try to lay back and leave just a little bit of room between me and the guy, you know, that's in front of me, and then, you know, get a good run off and then push them going down the back if I can. With these cars, unless you're just absolutely centered, it's so easy to just get them turned around, and then you get what we had there.
I can attest to that. Of course, you do Inspire Racing, you'll see that these cars, they do not like to be pushed. In the testing that we've seen done, really, these Gen 6s, they're fun to race and whatnot. A lot of it's in preparation for the SummerSlam 499 coming up. That's really what most of these races have been for. It still throws a little bit of money on the line. It also gives them practice for the biggest race of the summer as far as iRacing and money racing is concerned. Right now, Tanner Kassinger in the lead. Sean Corbett with him. Neither of these drivers have pitted since we started. Really, are you really trying to take these early cautions to try to push the fuel back as far as you can? We know that there'll be at least one green flag pit stop, considering we don't have any more cautions from here to the end. Are you pretty much just trying to pack as much fuel as you can under caution here, trying to push back that fuel strategy, that fuel window, so to speak?
Right here, I'm saving as much fuel as possible. I'm going to keep it in fourth, let it coast when I can, and try to save as much fuel and milk as much as I can out of it. When I come into pit, I'm going to try to top it off as much as I can. You know, towards the end of a race, if there's a late caution, everybody's coming in. I'm going to try to get enough fuel in it to get up to the front in case there's some green-white checkers after the fact, because usually they wreck coming to the line.
Of course, you see Daniel Buckingham and Nash Brambilla in the pits as well. Of course, well, no surprise Daniel Buckingham doing this. No surprise at all, really. Because, you know, you see Buckingham and how he races. He's trying to go ahead and get it set up for the end here. The less fuel he'll have to take, the better off he's going to be. To re-rack the top 5 as they run right now, you're going to have Tanner Kassinger, Sean Corbett, Trevor Aswinoff, Justin Johnson, and Wyatt Gray. That will be your top 5 at the moment. Of course, it's swapping because drivers are passing each other under caution. Well, Hunter, 2 early cautions. You reckon? What are the chances we'll see a third one? Well, you know there's going to be a third one. It's just a matter of when. You feel like they're going to settle in and ride? Well, settle in and ride for a little while, or do you feel like it's just going to start back over again?
It's hard to say. Usually cautions breed cautions, especially these plate racetracks. So if they simmer down and just settle in and, you know, ride single file, we might squeak out with, you know, not having caution until later in the race. But if they keep taking full ride right out of the gate, I honestly think we'll see another caution here in the next few laps.
We'll go ahead and rear rack them here. I do got a request to see a Jacob Carter. And whenever we get a appropriate time, I'll go ahead and put him on the spotlight. For now, we're rolling. Tanner and Sean bring them down, and a great jump for 19. Immediately up the block, Corbett. Would you say that's a very smart move with the outside lane, getting to run off the corners like they do?
It's hard to say. If you've got the room, take it. But if you're going to stack everybody up, as we see
like
them
that
going
right there,
and fanning out below the yellow here.
I say, got stacked up. Good God, it's a hornet's nest. We look at the hornet's nest right now. If I'm the top
like
four, I'm
everybody-
trying to get away. Got one car lagging. It'll be the Ford Jacob Carter, as a matter of fact. To Circuit City number 4 on the outside lane, in the wall a little bit, off the wall. They all keep it straight somehow. Good Lord.
I'm just surprised from the Hornets nest we saw on the back stretch coming out of 2 there that everybody merged cleanly.
Everybody made it through. Well, right now, single filed out. Well, it was single filed out, but now bottom lane's coming back here. Down the back straightaway. Fanning out 3 wide again. Drivers trying to make everything they can happen. I gotta admit, it's been about maybe a week or 2 since I've done an MMS race, but I don't remember them ever getting this chaotic on the start. Trevor Aswarnoth trying to go back down to the middle, thought better of it. Or to the bottom, I should say. See 19 of Tanner to block the 1 of Malik Ray. Caution's out, they're wrecking big again. Nathan Harper against the wall. Dallas Cowboy Ford's all tore up. Well, oh no, I say that. We'll get a look at the rear chase here. It doesn't look too bad. Splitter might be dragging her ground a little bit. All right. Well, let's see what happened to Nathan Harper. What do you say, Hunter?
Yeah, let's roll it back here.
Well, he's already sideways. Went. Okay, so we're stuck in the 3 wide scenario. 3 to 4. If Carter comes down and just really, I mean, Nathan or Richard Elliott, the O2, nothing they can really do. Kind of a big hit to the left rear. How is that really going to affect the car from this point on, even though it don't look like there's no damage there? There probably is. So how does the right rear, how is that going to affect, or the left rear I should say, how is that going to affect how the car handles?
It'll definitely affect, your aero. If it's slow, it might slow him down a little bit, but also I feel like it may make him get just a little bit loose getting into these corners, and it might make his car a little more finicky to push. You might have to be completely centered to push him now, or you're just going to get him so loose and jacked up that he'll just spin out.
And of course, not in a run Nathan Harper wanted. Of course, the winner from the last time I think the last time I aired an MMS race, he was the winner. Harper's won on here before. But of course, not tonight. Nathan Harper wants, as everybody's pretty much coming in. Got issues in the back. 19 slowed up for some reason. We'll see the race off of pit road. And at what point, I do hear drivers talk about a lot, how these cars, tires really work into the favor. At what point do you consider taking tires, and when do you know the tires are starting to wear out on these cars?
For me, as far as the wear goes, the cars don't want to grip the corner as well. You see them start dancing around just a little bit more. They're harder to control. They tend to get just a little bit on the looser side of things. But with this car, you've got so much downforce, so that doesn't really play into the factor there. But for me, if I get caught up in a caution, I don't have anything to lose. I'm going to have to repair a little bit of damage. I might as well go ahead and put 4 fresh Goodyears on it. But if I'm still running clean, I usually try to set up to where I'm going to take it about mid race, if I can. That way I'm not forfeiting too much track position, and I still got a little bit of time to get it back.
Completely understandable, really. Of course, we have seen tires play a massive impact here. Drivers get loose off of turn 2 and turn 4. Under our third caution for tonight, Nathan Harper takes a ride through the grass and up and into the outside wall. Had to see how much damage was really done from our camera angle. There weren't nothing there, but I'm sure that there's got to be something bent underneath that whole rear suspension. He just got one of them strong fiberglass bodies, that's all. To re-rack the top 5 as they run at the top of the screen. Trevor Asronaut in first. Cody Niegels in second. Tanner Kasinger in third. Stephen Miles fourth. Landon the Key rounds out the top 5. You can go ahead and see the rest of the field now as they're coming to the 1 to go. And Hunter, a chaotic race like this, how does this really affect a lot of drivers' mind? It can be frustrating for some to watch. It can be definitely action filled, but how does this really affect the driver's thoughts and nerves trying to survive something like this here?
I feel like if I was driving in this race, if I'm having to dodge a caution and a wreck every 2 or 3 laps, it definitely gets frustrating. And it's also frustrating for the guys who are wanting to race clean and see what their cars can do. We haven't really had a really long green flag stretch to see whose cars are good, who's working well together, and what the cars feel like. And I also feel like it throws every bit of strategy that any of these drivers had out the window coming into this race, because if you're under caution every 2 or 3 laps, you're saving more fuel and you're getting more out of your fuel load. And then, at some point, everybody's going to come to pit road all bunched up. So then it just really throws your strategies out the window.
It really does, but it can also play in it. But I feel like where it throws a lot of strategy out the window, it really falls into the guys who are like, give or take, Daniel Falkenhammer, those guys who pack the fuel every chance they get. The more cautions you have, does it really play into drivers who pit every lap they can, if I can get my words out, that'd be great. But can they really, does it play into their hands? Every lap under caution, you can come in, get fuel. Do you feel like it really plays into some of them drivers' hands?
It just depends on what strategies are on. For me, I pack the car up with as much fuel as I can each time I come into pit. But for those guys who are just budgeting for the end of the race, just to make it to that checkered flag, I think that those guys behind them who are coming in every time to top off with fuel, it's definitely going to play into their advantage.
Oh, for sure. We'll have to see if cautions keep bringing cautions, or if we're going to get a green flag run and shake up the strategy game. Cody Niegels and Trevor Asronaut brings them down. 36 to go from Talladega. Oh, Justin Johnson's already spinning. McCullough's in it. No caution, we keep it green. This is not tonight. Neither of the McCulloughs have wanted Ken McCullough meatball. The race is done for the 03. We'll focus back 3 wide down the back straightaway. About a 6-2 and landed. He survived the car and working himself up. Worked himself into a great spot tonight. Still 3 wide. The Coors Light car stuck on the outside lane. Right now, Cody getting a push from Tanner. And Hunter, feels like at the line, we're going to get the first laps. Under green, they're blocking aggressively again. Intensity is off the chain tonight, isn't it?
I definitely didn't expect it to see this much racing at lap 16 out of 50. So, you see the top line there, it's kind of faded out. You see the 18 there popping out to try to get something going, but hopefully they'll simmer down now. And, they don't throw stupid blocks like we just saw the 19.
God. Very aggressive block. Right now, the 19 of Tanner dropping back. He'll fall into the clutches of the pack. Meanwhile, top 5 breakaway. Tell you, Justin Millicar is having a solid night. 27. Of course, every time you see him, he's running some sort of Jimmy Johnson throwback. Safe to say, he's one of Jimmy's biggest fans. And right now, Justin Millicar, a lot of y'all know him from the Midnight Racing League that runs on Friday nights. Oh, there they go again.
Caution's out.
Try and get a look at who it is. Kenny Real. In a beautiful number 88 Jordan's car, but spinning off of turn 2. Good Lord. All right. Let's see what happens.
What'd I tell you? Cautions breed cautions.
There's a joke in there, but I ain't going to say it. We'll see what happens to Kenny Real. Bit of a push. Tries to come down. Looks like comes down across Corbett's nose. And it's going to make, is he going to make contact? No.
Kept it off the wall.
Hell yeah. Just needs 4 tires now. That's it.
4 tires and fuel.
Let's back it up one more time. Get a look at it here. He's already spinning.
And probably a change of underwear too.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Back it up here. Look at it so much. See if he really does come down. Hard to really tell sometimes. Right there is going to push the 19 of Trevor. Going to get him hooked off center. It's going to bring him down to the middle. All good, all good, all good. Trying to keep it straightened. And maybe Corbett comes up a little bit. Hard to say. For 9 angle, it kind of does.
It looks like the
Go ahead.
Looks like the 45 drifted up just a little there, but the 88 might have drifted down just a little bit there too. But you saw him on the back for the 19 there. The one thing about these cars, if you get hooked up and give them a bad push, you're going where you put that car. And, you know, that's what ultimately pulled him down in the middle lane and set this all off.
I will ask you this question too. Does it help that he's driving a Chevrolet and the nose is pointed more than what majority of these cars are?
I've never drove the Chevrolet Gen 6 to know. I know that, you know, in the actual Cup Series, it did tend to be a little bit of a problem on the super speedways just because you had to be completely centered to give a guy a shot just because that nose was pointed. And then, you know, they ended up changing that obviously later throughout the season to try to mitigate that.
Yeah, for sure, Cody Nichols, first one out. Trevor Asvernoth right behind him. Justin Millicar. Pretty much no change in the top 5. All right, stand corrected. Chris Summers comes up plus 12 spots to take the lead. Gotta say, kind of surprised, kind of not. Kind of has a whole new twist of things. Really, you're talking about open up the strategy call. The 22 stays out. We'll go ahead and re-rack the top 5 for you. Got our single filed out. So Summers up front, Cody Nichols, Trevor Asvernoth, Justin Millicar, Jared Haynes. That is the top 5 as they stand right now. You see drivers still saving as much fuel as they can. Right in the apron. You gotta miss it. Is it a bit of a gutsy call that the 22 of Chris Summers has made staying out here? Or is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure the whole reason why he stayed out there unless he has been saving fuel and he thinks he's got enough to really hang with the pack and you know, until green flag pit stops, those happen. But, I mean, he may be thinking with the way things have been happening and, you know, the cautions coming out that, you know, he can pit at a later time and he can get his number 22 up front and lead a couple laps here.
I about to say I wouldn't want to be back there neither. But eventually, you know, no fast repair needed. So, but the more caution we have, the more cars it involves, the less chances drivers have of really making, really to the more chances of the driver to wreck out of this race tonight. Recorded DNF, most of the time there is a fast repair. Tonight there is not. Right now, Keith McCullough's still on pit road. He had a meatball from that restart incident with the 82 of Justin Johnson. Kenny Reel's in the pits still. He's just starting to roll off. John Ward, unfortunately. What was that? John Ward, unfortunately, out of the race so far tonight. Will not even complete a lap from where I see it. Kevin McCullough is rolling out. Said he 03, not out of the race, but one's got to think still a lot of damage done to that Valvoline Chevrolet.
Yeah, I think for him to be able to really get back in this and and play a role is he's just going to have to continue to stay in the pits as long as possible and repair as much damage as they can under the cautions. He should be able to get about a minute to a minute and a half each caution period of time knocked off of his damage.
Definitely not over for the 03, all things considering. If that has been ain't been a typical night at MMS. Most of the time, we'll get a green flag run in. They'll have a green flag pit stop. Normally the wrecks will be safe 40 in, of course. Every once in a while, you'll have a race start off like this. So this ain't a normal thing that we see, but right now Chris Summers and Cody Niegels will come down to the United Rentals restart zone. Lap 21 about to be started.
Good jump for the 22 there.
An excellent jump. Thing about it is, at what point is it too good of a jump?
Well, I think we're about to see how good of a jump he got there. The top side's forming up. They're even with him. He just got a little bit too far out there, but here comes 89 to give him just a little bit of help and maybe get him back up to the front.
Trevor Asronoff, that 89 pushing. They're sideways again to 6, blinking a lot, and they're about to be 4 wide. They'll settle it back down to 3. Let's see. Taking wagers on total cautions. My money is on 9 yellows. We'll have to see right now. I believe this is just the 4th one. They see Miller car all the way up to the top. Going block, driver below the yellow line. Good Lord. 3 by 3 by 3 all the way to about 15.
Sixteen's really loose in that corner there.
Another thing to really look at, of course, right now he's mired back in 18, but you got to wonder how the 18 of Harper, how his car, the 32 of Nathan Harper, I should say, how his car is being affected. They're beating and banging, going into 3. Josh McCullough just involved in the second caution, bringing himself up into a top 10 spot. Steve Sizemore, second floor down to the first floor on the inside. Really, as an assist of urgency, just go ahead and get to the front. I'll worry about fuel later.
Yeah, I think that's what we're seeing unfold here. Guys are wanting to get up to the front to hopefully avoid the cautions that will come out. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Really aggressive running. I figured that top lane would, fizzle out by now, but they're still hanging in there.
Still hanging in there. You see 3 wide down the back straightaway. Joey Misavage in that black and greenish number 64. Justin Millicar up and down the leaderboard tonight. Right now, I believe it is the lowest Millicar has been running. Unfortunately, it's just outside the top 10, or at least barely within the top 10, side by side with the 16. Meanwhile, Tanner Kassinger has led 6 laps tonight. Most of any driver tonight. Cody Niegels and Chris Somers have each led 3. Trevor Aswarnoff. Caution is out again. They're still wrecking back there. If I can get a picture of it, that'd be nice. Well, unfortunately, I ain't got a picture right now. We're going to try to find somebody. Well, Jacob Carter
So I see
already.
the 30
Jacob
30 car was involved there.
Oh, God. Massive. Yeah, that's a race done. Justin Johnson involved in it. Meatball flag. The 82's done. All right. Re-rack it. What the hell happened? All right, well, we're going to get a good look at it here, but we'll shape it up down the front stretch here. And Hunter, take it away. What do you see?
Well, so the 4 car here, he got really strung out really far ahead of the 27. Looks like the 27 just gave him a couple bad bumps, but looks like the 27 got hit in the rear there by the 18, and that's just what set this all off. He just
Good
caught the 4
God.
wrong there, sent the 4 down, and it looks like the 30 car had arcer brakes when he saw this one unfold.
Very possible. We'll see if we can't get Justin Johnson's view of things. Well, it's actually, so Johnson's going to be way back here. You're going to see the contact up there. All the way down. A massive hit for the 04 drivers trying to migrate down to the bottom, and Johnson just comes up, and God almighty. Richard Elliott got a piece of that.
I don't think the 30 car ever hit his brakes. I don't think he ever lifted.
Well, here. Yeah, of course, part of it could be, well, if I slow down, I'm going to get ran over from behind. So maybe just gas it and we'll see how it happens. Good
I mean,
God.
had the 82 not been there, I think he may have been able to get through it. But I mean, with these wrecks and stuff, you've got to slow down at some point to try to figure out what's going on in front of you. When there's smoke, you can't really see, and you get what we had there, where the 30's destroyed.
Well, everybody's in the pits this time. Unfortunately for Justin Johnson, the 30 of Brody Landry and Jacob Carter, meatball flags, potentially the night is done. We'll fast forward to the race off of pit road. We actually got Steve Sizemore came to a rest. What's happened to Steve here? Trying to get out of his pit box, trying to get out, and what, overslid the tires there, perhaps?
Yeah, I think he just throttled up a little too hard there, especially on cold tires. No grip, just throttled it out.
Well, top 5 as they run right now. And really not much has changed. Cody Nichols up front, Tanner Kasinger, Trevor Asbernod, Jared Haynes has worked himself up into 4th, and Zachariah Carledge up to 5th.
So if I'm not mistaken, depending on how much these cars save, they may be able to make it to the end here on fuel.
Yeah, potentially could be. Unfortunately tonight. Started off with a caution. Started off with a wreck on lap 1, and from there really ain't been able to get the traction down to try to pull up a green flag pit stop. But safe to say, I mean, Johnson and Jacob Carter and Brody Laundry, just depending on how bad they say the damage is. New update in iRacing about 3 months ago now. If you got too much damage, the game will tell you you're done. No more, you can't continue. So it's hard to say if the 4 and the 30 are going to be able to get back out there and compete. Justin Johnson had a meatball. He is back out onto the racetrack. But you really got to thank Hunter. Both Kenneth McCullough, Justin Johnson, just to name a few, they've had, several minutes of damage. You got to think, even if the car gets fully fixed with the optional damage, that for any of y'all, that optional damage means you ain't got to fix it if you don't want to, but it's recommended. Required damage is you're sitting there until the game tells you you can roll. But with all that optional damage, do you think that cars like the 03 and the 82, are they really going to be back 100% to try to get up there and compete?
No.
Just a big
These cars, like we talked about earlier, if they're really easy to lose a draft with as much damage as they have, which I'm probably 99% sure some of it's aero. I don't think those cars will play a factor until they get that damage, that optional damage, bumped down a little bit. I think you'll kind of see them riding out in the back.
But even then you got to think of the wheel damage that they'll probably be stuck with the rest. Which now wheel damage really does not matter. I feel like at Daytona and Talladega, like it would anywhere else, but still, regardless, even after all the optional damage is completed and done, it's not going to be 100% really, no matter what. Wyatt Gray, black flag, probably due to being race control deemed it the cause of caution. If I'm not mistaken, a cause of caution, that's an EOL with a drive-through penalty. 40-18. I cannot confirm that at the moment. But we'll just have to see. If he comes in, then we know. Meanwhile, at the front, however, Cody Nichols and Tanner Kasinger, 1 and 2. 23 to go. Can we get a run to the end? Great jump by the
Good
six.
jump by the 6 car.
Excellent jump by Cody. 2 by 2 and pretty much just falling in the wheelhouse. He can block whatever lane he wants to. He'll duck back down in front of the 89. Kenny Real trying to make something happen at 88. Landon Velke jumps up trying to pull that third lane with the 23 of, if I remember right, Nash Brambilla. Every new drivers every week. It's hard to keep up with these names. But meanwhile, if you're Cody, the last time we were live on the Raging Idiot Racing Network, 1 car below the double yellow line. If you're live with us the last time, Cody Nichols wound up taking the win. Right now is in pretty good candidacy to do that. 22 to go. What are you thinking right now with everything we've seen as a driver from their perspective?
It's hard to say. At this point in the ballgame, if I was driving, I'm just going to try to get.
Oh, there they go again! They saved it somehow. Jesus.
No clue how the 19 saved that there.
210. For those of you wondering, 210, that's the wheel range they have, how much they can turn the wheel. And I will say this after driving it with the next gen, it works. Unfortunately, for Tanner Kasinger and Nash Brambilla, they will go from the front 2 down to the sub 22nd and 24th spot. What a save. Dawson Wise in that Coors Light number 2 worked himself up to second after all this. Landon Velke third, Trevor Asmanoff. Right now in front, coming to 20 to go, and I'm going to ask you the question again because I don't think I let you finish. 20 to go, what are you thinking as a driver right now?
I'm just going to try to get at the front. I want to be the top 4 or 5, especially with how this race has unfolded. We've seen a lot of these cautions kind of start, 3 or 4 rows back. You haven't really seen anything out of the, first 3 or 4 lines. So, I would want to be up there as we see the 89 get a little loose there with a push from the 2.
Possible tires, 6-lap old tires, or is it too early for tires to be playing a factor here?
I don't think the tires would be it. I think just these cars are so finicky, especially on the plate racetrack when it comes to pushing. And like I said, you've got to be perfectly square to get these cars, especially in the corners. They get so loose when you're pushing on them, which is, I think, all that happened there.
About the 62, Landon Velke was going to try to take the lead for a moment. Cody Nichols said, forget it, I'll go back to to the middle line. Kenny Reel's working himself up after going through a slide earlier in the 88. You gotta think we've already seen it. Oh, there they go again. 22 is in that one.
88's in it.
Bram Billa's in it. Kenny Reel, Joshua McCullough, Joey. Justin Millicar is in it. The 9 is done for the 27. Joshua McCullough finally comes. He'll bring his car to rest. Actually, he'll tow it. There you see the extended 27 smoking. Good Lord. Well, this will probably take out several. Kenny Reel meatball damage. He's got to sit through pit road, and let's go ahead and see it again. All this is just pretty much a sense of urgency. I got to get to the front. I don't want to be in a wreck. And unfortunately, the wreck is finding them. Drivers trying to get up there like, what do you think the deal's been tonight?
I think you've seen a lot of aggressive pushing in the corners, which is, the bottom lane kind of according, but as you see right there, just got such a big push to the back end of the 15, and just got him so loose, especially in the corners. The big thing with these cars, like I said, you can't really push in the corners. They need to, slack off, give the drivers in front of them just a little bit of space, and get a run off the corner and then push them down the back.
See if we can get a couple onboards through this. We saw the incident. We'll see if we can't get a couple onboards. First one with Justin Millicar. Nothing he can do. Immediately you hear the motor blow. Nathan Harper.
They just know where he could go.
Let's actually go on board now with the 15 of Joshua McCullough. Rewind it here, obviously, and then we'll get it back rolling. The one thing that does not work is he's often on and off the apron a lot. Maybe something to do with it there. I'll tell you one driver I want to go on board with because he just does barely make it through all this. And that'll be a driver to 8, Steve Sizemore. Let's rewind it here. He got a little bit of damage out of that, but honestly, not as bad as what it could have been.
He just got this paint a little.
I'd rather have a little bit of paint missing than to have lots of damage. So Justin Millicar, Kenny Reel out of the race. Well, Millicar is in the pits, not officially out. However, Kenny Reel and Joshua McCullough, both of them officially out of the race. They'll join Jacob Carter and John Ward in the garage. See Wyatt Gray coming out. See the 22 of Chris Somers led 3 laps earlier. The 9 is done trying to get what damage he can fixed. And did the 19 just about wreck? Like about a lap before that happened, and 19 stays out, regains the lead.
He's a heck of a wheelman. I'll give him that. There's no way that car should have been saved. That car should be sitting in the garage right now. But props to him. He drove through it, drove out of it, and then stayed out, played a strategy game, and now he's leading this thing. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and assume that he is 100% certain he can make it to the end here on fuel.
Either that or he's banking on another caution, but if he banks on another caution, well, it just depends on if any of the other drivers are good on fuel as well. Right now, Kasinger's on a 10-lap stint. 10 laps since he last pitted. Led 9 laps tonight. most of any driver by 1. And the driver that slid the second most to his outside and Cody Nichols. About Daniel Falkenham's worked himself back up into it. Fell back for a little while. Has been hanging inside the top 10, top 15 the majority of the night. But Falkenham's, of course, we know he knows how to get it done. Malik Ray, another one. Good Lord.
Is that the 30 car we see back on track at the very end there?
Yep. 9 laps down. 9 laps down, probably not a whole lot left he can do. It looks like the car don't even want to turn half straight, half right, half left. Well, of course, if you're him, you know you're just banking on, well, if they can all wad them up. Honestly, we've seen big crashes, but we haven't seen the big one. Not yet. We've seen his.
We haven't seen their field killer.
Yeah. We've seen the cousins. We've seen the small ones. But we have not seen the big one or hell, even the huge one that will take out everybody. Of course, I'll give you a great real life prediction of the huge one, 2014 Coke Zero 400. When half the field completely wrecked, over half the field. So with that being said, 15 to go when they take the line. Tanner Cassinger, Cody Nichols brings them down to the United Rentals restart zone. Do we have another caution, or do we make it through the green? Great jump by the 19 again. I personally think he learned from the last time. They made a restart, got too far out ahead. He's still a sitting duck regardless. Malik Ray's going to take him 3 wide. Not where 19 wants to be.
No, he just fell into the sucker there.
And 22, Chris Summers still in this. Right now, top 4 break away, only slightly. That will, the tail end of that driver we ain't talked about a lot tonight. The 2 was Zachariah Cartledge. Up to 4th, Malik Ray will run it out 5th. Dawson Wise in 6th, and now we're starting to see a single file breakaway. '19 of Tanner, black flag. Unsure why. Possible. Well, actually, we look back on that replay. Did he switch lanes for the start-finish line?
I thought he was clear of him.
Well, I had to get confirmation on that, but regardless, the 19. A black flag, and the driver led the most laps tonight of 10 so far. The night appears to be done. Never say never, though. Because the way this race has been, it's still anybody's race to lose. Right now, 25 cars still in contention on winning this race. A couple of them have lost the draft. However, this lead pack consists of all the way back to Nathan Harper and Garrett Caswell back here. Harper's took a spin to the grass, but the 32 still kicking. Of course, Caswell all the way back to 17th. Daniel Falkenham to the lead, and Hunter, are you surprised with the 39 already being a factor up here tonight?
No, I'm not. He played it safe off the start there. You know, that Malik and him were my 2 picks at the beginning of the race. So, you know, seeing him play it smart and, you know, manage his stuff and, you know, just stay out of wrecks. I'm not really surprised to see him out front here.
The 30 of Brody Landry. Another meatball flag. I have to assume the engine finally gave out. Regardless, I believe for tonight, the 30 of Brody, the damage is terminal this time. The 62, not the 62, but the, darn, I can't find out. Oh, Zachariah Cartledge down to the bottom. He's going to cover Austin Green in the 87. Bottom lane trying to rally, and how effective is the bottom with these cars?
I feel like if you can get a good line going, that the cars can be effective. As you see, the 16 there is fixing to pull up alongside Malik in the 1. So if you can get a good line and you can get it organized, I feel like the cars really can be effective in any of the 3 lanes, which is what we've seen tonight with the 3 wide racing.
Well, 10 to go, and it kind of seems like they've decided to settle down for the moment. Just for the moment. And right now, pretty much as you see it, Cody Eagles now leads 11 laps tonight. Most of the drivers tonight. Oh, Zachariah, hang on to her, baby. What a save by the 16.
Great save, but that's really going to kill this inside line's momentum.
See the 6 dive down to the middle, right back up. And it really does, and now we're probably going to see them try to get single file to the last 2 or 3 laps. It has been a night of carnage. But hopefully, maybe they'll ride it out the last 10 laps. They'll lay it all out on the line with 2 or 1 to go. Or do you think that maybe after all of this, they can't make it on fuel?
I believe with the drivers who came down towards the end there, or the last pit stop, I feel like they could. But, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see, as we see Cody Eagles is on a 16-lap stint here. Everybody else behind him, up to 7th, is on an 8-lap stint. So maybe the 16's banking on another caution, or maybe he has saved enough fuel to get his car to the end.
Well, just had to wait and see, of course, for the moment. But right now, see Casey Sprinkles. Okay, forget what I said about riding around. Casey Sprinkles up to the bottom lane. Has not heard nothing out of him all night with Austin Green. Of course, Austin Green finished 3rd in the HCR event. They're sideways all throughout the field. Good Lord. Jacob Carter back on track, 11 laps down, getting thing clear to leaders. Trevor Asbrook up to the outside lane, that 3rd lane. 8 to go. Why quit being racing now? You know what I mean?
For as much carnage as we've had tonight, there's not very many cars that are parked.
Oh, no, there ain't, but Justin Miller car. Justin Miller car right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers out of the race so far tonight. Miller car, Kenny Real, Joshua McCullough, Brody Landry, and John Ward. Of course, Jacob Carter just coming back out onto the racetrack. Just mentioned 11 laps down. 7 to go. Pretty much, here comes Funkingham with another run to the bottom with Malik Ray. And right now, they're not really making 3 wide. Nathan Harper, well, I say that Harper trying to go through the middle. Make it 3 wide, 6 to go. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to set up here, Hunter?
If I'm one of the cars back in the pack, I'm going to try to go with the line that has the most cars in it and the most momentum. If I'm, Cody Eagles and I'm leading this thing, I'm going to try to make sure that I'm mirror driving and I'm going right where that 39 is and trying to keep my car out front, because with them running single file, you're going to get chewed up and spit out and go right to the back.
3 by 3 back there further in the pack. It's been survival of the fittest all night. And right now, as far as the top 5 are concerned, and pretty much this whole pack here, I believe they have really played the survival of the fittest role pretty good. But right now, Cody Eagles led 15 laps tonight, looking to make it 16, but at the line, Falkenham will get it barely. Oh, no, correction. We got one car slow on the back straightaway. He'll tow back to the pits. We are good. I'll take that back. Cody did lean that lap. Casey Sprinkle trying to fire back on the outside lane with Austin Green in tow. Well, I'll tell you, Casey, one of them, normally you'll see him at the front a lot of the time, but tonight the driver to 28s played it smart, survived all the carnage, didn't qualify the best that we've known him to do. Right now, Casey out front, going to lead his second lap tonight. Well, I'll say this, and Hunter, you can throw your pick in there, and if anybody in the comment section wants to throw a 4 to go race winner, you can. But if I'm going to bet my dollar on somebody, I bet on the 6 of Cody, running back there in 4th right now.
Yeah, I think it would be my pick too. He's at a super strong car, especially if he can get the help that he needs in his line. Right now, he really just doesn't have any help in the bottom line. They're not really organized.
There they go.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Landon Vilkey is in that. Jared Haynes involved. Nash, Brambilla. Meatball damage on them. Night done for all 3 of them drivers. Really don't see a lot of damage to the 62.
I think his right rear's messed up.
Right rear, you said?
Yeah, it looks like his right rear, he broke something in the right rear.
Hard to say, but we'll go ahead and get a look at it and see what has caused all this with 3 to go and will potentially send us into overtime. It is only fitting. Jared trying to decide to come down. Well, maybe hesitated just a little bit. Hard to really say. I don't know. What do you see there, Hunter?
Let's see here as we get it rewinded. See the sticks drop down to the very bottom lane there. I don't know what the 4 was doing. I guess he was trying to get down in front of the 06 there. 06 gets a little bit of a shot from the car behind him. It looks like he might have barely tapped him in the left rear there and just turned him. Or it could have been one of those net code situations, but from there, Brambilla nowhere to go. The 62 trying to stay out of it. 24 rear ends him, throws him into it. So just nowhere for those 2 guys to go.
And again, I am surprised that we do not have more cars involved in this incident than what we do. You see, well, there's where the damage comes from the 62. Motor's probably shot or the radiator's completely killed. And the Jack Shack.
I think he took a hard hit to that outside.
And for the Jack Shack number 1 of Jared Hayes. A solid night going great. But it will not be the way Jared Hayes wants to end this night, nor Nash Brambilla. Or I will say Landon as well.
Brambilla's night should have been ended 15 laps ago when him and the 19 saved it coming out of the corner there. Have no clue how either one of those guys saved it, but unfortunately the work didn't pay off and his night's done.
Right. With that being said, it is only convenient. We're going to go to overtime. If I remember it the last time that we went to overtime, it's going to play out as this. First 2 attempts, if there's a caution thrown, they'll re-rack it. The third attempt at an overtime, third attempt of overtime, they're just going to let them race it back. Don't let the pace car scare you neither.
That should be how it goes. If I'm not mistaken, that's how they've been doing it. But I mean, it'll be an exciting finish. We've got a lot of guys up here that have rode out at the back. Pretty much all race, managed their stuff and somehow survived the carnage of what this race has been. So it'll be exciting to see your big movers, see who decides to be risky, and see what lanes get the good jump and who comes away with the win.
I'm glad you mentioned big movers. Austin Green up 23 spots from where he started this race. The 06 of David Sheets as well. Nathan Harper up 24 spots. Mark Vondell up 20. If you want to talk about big movers, I just named off 4 of them from where they started this race tonight. With that being said, much like HGR earlier in the night, Austin Green assembly came from nowhere in the last half of the race to be up there with a chance to win it. Felt like during his interview with in HGR, he felt confident that he could get up there and win with a little bit of luck. Looking to go up 2 more spots from where he finished HGR tonight in the MMS. And right now, I'd say he's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, the inside line has been getting a really good jump out of the gate, especially on the last couple of restarts. So I think if he can get his 87 Ford out front, he might have a chance.
But he's got to go through. I'll tell you one tough customer he's got to go through. That would be the 59 of Casey Sprinkle. 59, 28, it'll say 2 different numbers, but always, think of Casey. I think of somebody that's always wanting to lead the race, doesn't really care to ride around, don't really care to, unless he really has to save the fuel to make it. He does not care about saving fuel or nothing. He just wants to get to the front, and he has done that. It's took him a while, but he has gotten to the front, and him and Austin Green will be leading them down to the United Rentals restart zone for attempt 1 in overtime. And all we got to do is make it to the white flag. Whatever happens there, happens. All right. What do you think, Hunter? We get through the first one or we go to the second one?
I think we'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to make any calls.
I don't blame you. A great jump by Casey Sprinkle, perhaps a bit too much. The 6 of Cody Nichols with him. Green immediately falling back. You see David Sheets stuck in the 3rd lane all by himself. He's going to pay dearly for that. Austin Green with a run on the bottom. Oh, there we go. Harper's around. Hard into the wall. Man, oh man.
And then again,
I'm glad you
how
didn't
is
say
there
that.
not more cars?
Oh, there's more cars. Steve Sizemore, meatball flag. Zachariah Cartledge, meatball flag. Chris Sommer. It's over for a lot of drivers. There's Sizemore in the grass. Night's done. Jesus almighty. All right. Let's go back and see how this transpires. Bit of a push from the 89, a bad push from the 89 kind of. See Sizemore up in the air. From there, it's just drivers making contact with the 32. Hey, the bumper came back. That's nice to have. From there, Hunter, we'll rewind it here. We'll let you get your opinion on it. For me, it just looks like, Trevor's not trying to turn the 32 by no means, but they're coming with a run. Perhaps the 32 sees that. He wants to fade up to the top. Unfortunately, the 89 still all over his back bumper. We have to see here, or is he just a meat he's a meat sandwich. From there, 24 to the push of the 89. How do you call this one?
Yeah, rewind it there just a little bit for me. We'll get back to the start of this. But from what I can tell, let's see as we rewind it here. Looks like the 89 gives the 32 a shot. The 6 got out there to a pretty good lead. 32 gives him a bump, kind of stacks up just a little bit, gets him offset. And I think the 32 tried to chase him up the hill to try to leave the 59 out. And then when he did, just 89 tried to go with him and just wasn't enough room. And
Pretty
you
much
see him
a-
turn there.
Pretty much a racing deal there.
Did
for
the one-
Sizemore. Go ahead.
Did the one car get any damage on his right rear? It looks like the 32 may have clipped him there just a little bit.
We'll rewind it real fast and see.
See,
Yeah,
if he
no.
didn't, it's close.
Malik Ray, maybe just a little bit. Unfortunately, Sizemore is not as lucky. And from there, bam.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't place any bets on when the next caution would be.
Well, I'm glad you didn't either, and I'm glad I didn't. With that being said, we're going to go to attempt number 2. So for Nathan Harper, night done. Unfortunately, you can add him to a list of others. Chris Sommer in the pits, repairing damage. Jared Haynes, repairing damage. Lyndon Vilkey in the pits, repairing damage. Nathan Harper joins them. Steve Sizemore out of this race. Zachariah Cartledge still on pit road. Nash Brambella still on pit road. Jacob Carter 11 laps down, but from there, Brody Landry, Justin Millicar, Kenny Reel, Joshua McCullough, and John Ward all in the garage. And Steve Sizemore joins them. Well, I might have been a little bit premature in saying Nathan's out of this race. Coming back out. Don't know how bad the front end is. Don't know how bad that radiator's messed up. But you know what? He says, by God, what do I got to lose? I'm going to ask you here. I'll ask you here, Hunter. Does anybody got anything to lose right now?
Well, if I'm the 6th car, I'm definitely going to feel like I've got something to lose. You know, leading the most laps in this race, and you know, being the most dominant car. So I mean, if I was in his position, I feel like I'd have a lot to lose. But for a lot of these guys, it's, you know, started at the rear and have made their way up to the front. You've had a heck of a race. You've put yourself in position. So it just kind of depends on how their mindset is.
It really does. And right now, you're thinking, right now, as you see, and I got a feeling the 6 and the 59 to 87, perhaps they're good for 2 overtimes, but are they good for a third? Is that kind of what we're seeing here?
Well, I feel like at these plate racetracks, you know, you're going to obviously, once your fuel gets down and you're running into a tight race, you're going to try to save as much fuel as possible. But it's been quite a while since we've seen anybody on pit road, especially for the 6, where he's been burning the most fuel and pretty much leading the majority of this race that's been running green. I think he may be in a different fuel scenario than a lot of the guys around him.
Well, let's just look at that fuel scenario right before they go back to green, and there you see it. For several drivers, good God almighty. All right, so Austin Green, Dalton Wise, 20-lap run. There's the kicker, Cody Nichols, 28 laps since he last pitted. Definitely not. He did not want to see all these overtimes. From there all the way down to 12, 19 to 20-lap runs. McCullough, Rachel Corbett. Well, no, just Rachel and McCullough. 5 laps. They are good to the end. You got to think, are these drivers really pushing it? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they've been pushing it since the drop of the green there. But I mean, I think if Nichols can make it, a lot of the guys around him can. I mean, he's got 8 more, you know, an 8 lap longer stint than, you know, the guys around him. So if he can make it, I believe everybody else can.
Oh, I'd be sweating bullets if I couldn't. All right, Dalton Wise, Austin Green brings them down on attempt number 2 at an overtime. Great jump by the 87, about best you can ask for. Really able to control both lanes now. Immediately going to go up and defend the 2. Here comes Falkenham. Looking to the outside. Surprisingly, nobody goes with him. Three by 3 again. Half a lap from the white flag. Green getting pushed by Ray. Keeping it straight for the moment. Stephen Miles has worked himself into that 24 into a position. Neagles and Sprinkle trying to make something happen on the bottom. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, white flag. 1 to go. Whatever happens, happens. Here comes the 80s. See Sprinkle, he'll lead the 6. Sprinkle about gets turned. Hunter at this point, no holds barred. Be damned if you can't take a push.
Yeah, it's no holds barred, which
there
is
they
good
go.
way.
Wrecking behind, drivers all over the place will focus in on the leaders. If you're Ray, how do you set this up?
We see him laying back there off the 87. He's going to try to get a good push from the 24 here. 87 drops low, tries to block.
And
Well, he
at the
goes low,
line,
he's going to get him.
Malik Ray at the line, side by side. Austin Green, barely. Barely. By God. 0.000 is what we're seeing at the line. God, too mighty. Rewind it. Go ahead and rewind it. Because you know we're going to see this here. Whoops, too far. All right. Hunter, we're going to try to get this as clean as we can. As clean as we can.
So I figured Malik had him. He got a really good run out of that trial there. Looks like the 59 may have got to the 87 and gave him a little bit of a push, but I mean, this
That's
is
the
close.
finish.
I mean, they're dead even.
Hold on, buddy. We got better. We got a better camera than that. Pretty much that's the distance. God almighty. Get Austin Green in here. Well, Austin Green ain't in here right now. See if I can't get him in here. God almighty, what do you got to say to that? Literally, it says.
Mine's here, the 2016 Daytona 500.
Oh my God. Well, let's see what iRacing says. Here's how iRacing calls it. 1/1000th of a second. Good gosh almighty.
Great run for the 87 from 25th to 1st. Heck of a race.
That was an awesome race. Well, I mean, it was a caution-filled race, but I'll be damned. That kind of fixes a lot of things for me. I understand it ain't the kind of race that everybody wanted to have, but good Lord. Let's get him. Austin Green, Garrett Jenkins, Hunter Azell up here in the booth. I'm going to tell you, by iRacing's margin of victory, 1/1000th of a second.
I didn't think I actually won it until I got to about turn 1 or 2, and I looked down and said, "Oh wait, I won." That was really exciting. I was happy with that.
It was an awesome race, buddy. It was a bit of a wreck fest, but still a great race. I mean, this makes it up for us. Really, what went into the night, seeing how the race turned out, at what point did you change your mindset from winning to maybe just survival?
I don't know. From maybe the start, it was. I know we didn't have a fast repair, and early on it was crazy. I think I had a couple somewhat close calls, and then it was the same way through the middle portions, but then once we started to get to the later half, it was even though it was still scary, it was okay. Well, if you don't have track position, we keep getting cautions, you may not get a chance to get back up. So I just tried to start going up front, and I had a couple good people around, which really started to help there at the end.
My buddy you told me that at the end of the HDR broadcast, you felt like you can go up one more spot. Well, I'll ask you, did you expect it to be in such a dramatic fashion?
Sorry about that. No, not necessarily. That was one of the weirdest and most calm finishes I've ever been a part of, in the sense of, I mean, I feel bad first off, and I said this in there, but I don't know if you heard me, so I do want to apologize to Dawson. I didn't work well with him on the first start. We literally talked about it before the start, and then as soon as I saw Casey get split, I just panicked and thought I had to go up. And then on that next one, I jumped up in front of him and was hoping that me and him could jump up and push for a while, but I saw Malik and him jump out, and again, I hate to say this and I hate doing it, but it was either I was going to go down with him, or if I tried to go up, I could at least give myself another chance. It's just the way it goes with these cars. But the biggest thing, and I did want to say this, was Malik pretty much was the only reason that I feel like I won that race. And even if I wouldn't have won, he was the only reason I finished in the money. He obviously draws a lot of respect in these, and usually what he does, a lot of guys are going to listen to and do. And he told me pretty much what to do the last lap and said, I won't split you. And as soon as he said that, I pretty much figured out that, he was going to just keep it between any of us that were up there and not make a move on me till the end, which is what he did. And that means a lot, obviously. It makes me definitely want to push him if I get a chance.
Hunter, you got any questions for him?
Heck of a race, man. You carved your way from 25th to a first place finish. How did you survive the carnage? Because, there for the first, it seemed like 30 laps, it was just a caution every couple laps there. So how did you make your way through those?
Yeah, you obviously need luck, but you kind of wait, and it seems like if the guys start to calm down a little bit, that'll be a good time to try to go. And if they start to get aggressive, sometimes you'll try to back it up a little bit and wait. And then, once it also depends on who you're around, I feel like. And again, I said luck. The biggest lucky break I got there was at one point, me and Casey got linked up, and I think it was Cody and Daniel, or Cody. Somebody made a move to the bottom, and it just opened us up top. I had fresh temps, and that was what really kind of set the track position and allowed us to stay in front of the chaos the rest of the way.
Well, that means
good deal. Well, man, heck of a race.
Thank you, guys.
And then, of course, the last question coming. I know you already shouted them out once, but by God, you didn't get to shout them out in victory lane, so you get to do it tonight. Is there anybody you want to thank, friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I got to thank first tonight, well, actually a couple people. This was definitely the most help I feel like I've gotten on a win in a long time. Dawson for not ditching me there. And again, I do feel really bad, so I apologize to him, but shout out to him for that. And then big shout out to, obviously, Malik for everything he did for those last 2 laps for me. Shout out to Casey, who I think may have actually given me just enough of a boost to hold on at the end. I don't even know how that happened. Shout out to the rest of McCullough Motorsports. David Sheets was back tonight. We enjoyed seeing him. Mark, Kenny, Josh, and then thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and thanks to Kenny for putting on the race.
All right, buddy. Austin Green by 1/1000th of a second is your winner tonight for MMS. Congratulations, buddy. Look forward to the first of many.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, that being said, we'll get Malik Ray in here real quick, get his side of things. Malik Ray, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, buddy, long time no see. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Well, buddy, pretty much for a second we didn't know who won. Hunter thought you got it. I thought Austin got it. But at the end of it, 1/1000th of a second is the difference. Can you just take me through the whole night from start to finish? It looked like it was crazy.
Yeah, man. I just stayed in the back, and then I tried to get some track position towards the end. I was working with Austin Green there the last 2 or 3 laps, and and he had enough trust with me to like come down and side draft, and we worked well together. And he just barely got me before the start finish line. But solid job to him, man. He ran a really good race, and it was clean at the end of the race. I can't complain at all.
We cannot complain with that neither, especially the craziness. I do want to ask, because I am believing you're going to be one of over 150 some drivers going for the SummerSlam 499, if I'm not mistaken. I'm assuming.
Yes, sir.
Well, how does a Carnage race like tonight? How does that prepare you mentally, mentally, and physically? How does a race like this prepare you for the biggest race of the summer coming up for iRacing and money racing in general? How does this set you up mentally?
I just take notes as to like who knows what they're doing at the end of the races. And I just try to keep that, like in my head. In the upcoming weeks, I think we're 2 weeks now. Like way up to the start of the race. So I just try to just keep that stuff in mind, and like who's helping me and who's not, and who's throwing bad blocks and stuff like that. I just try to keep track of it, so that way at the end of the SummerSlam race, I know what to expect, and like I'm not caught off guard by anyone doing anything crazy because I've already expected.
Completely understand. Well, Hunter, you got any questions for Malik?
Man, you were one of my picks at the start of this race. I've raced with you a couple times. You always seem to have a bad, fast race car coming to the plate racetracks, especially in these money races. What's your mindset coming into one of these races you usually start out at the back, you save your stuff, but then, towards the end, somehow you're always there. So what's your mindset coming into these races to just work your way up to the front?
I just let everybody just crash themselves out for the first half of the race, and then after that, I just start like picking my way through people just one by one, and so far, I mean, it seems to be working out. Plus, I have really good teammates like Miles and Kyler and Nick and Freddie, so I can always trust them. Like if I need them.
Well, Malik, obviously first broadcast I ever did for this series. I got to interview you. Glad to see you back in the booth for an interview, first off. And I'm sure you know the question coming next. There anybody wanting to shout out, thank friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours, buddy.
I appreciate Miles for his help as always. And Austin Green too. And congrats to him on the win. That was a really good race ran by both of those guys.
All right, buddy. For Malik Ray, unfortunately, second place, a bit better, losing by not even an inch. But Malik, look forward to seeing you again up here in the booth. Best of luck to you in the SummerSlam 499, which is Thursday, July 31st through August 3rd. Best of luck to you, buddy.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. Let's see. We got one more. I don't know if I can get Stefan in here. I don't see him in here. Nobody else is really in the waiting room. So with that being said, Hunter, it's about 12:15, and I got to be to work at 7, so we're going to run through the results real quick here. At the end of it, you officially see it. 1/1000th of a second. Austin Green over Malik Ray. Stephen Miles, Casey Sprinkle, Daniel Falkenham rounds out the top 5. Nathan Harper, Landon Velkey, Cody. The 6 of Cody Niggles. Kez McCullough, I am surprised to round out a top 10 finish after the night that he had. And Dawson Wise rounds out the top 10. If you want to take out 11th through 18th, you can, buddy.
Sean Colbert finished 11th, 12th Wyatt Gray, 13th Michael Wingo, 14th Bobby Rakel, 15th Richard Elliott, 16th Tanner Cassinger after a penalty there on a restart, 17th Joy Masovich, 18th David Sheets.
Masavage.
Savage.
I
tried.
I said the exact same thing. Regardless, we'll go on down through the field here. I guess I'll round out the remaining field here. Jared Haynes in 19th after a solid run. That was beginning to look like he could be a contender. Unfortunately, caught up into a caution. Justin Johnson, Chris Summer, 20th and 21st. Trevor Aswarnaut, Mark Vondale, Steve Sizemore, Zachariah Cartlidge will round out the top 25. Another driver up at the front the majority of the night, Nash Brambilla. Unfortunately, the luck runs out, involved in a caution. Late in the race, Jacob Carter and Brody Landry will round out 28th and 29th. Then I know we got one more. Thought we had one more. Oh, we got 4 more. Okay then. Kenny Real, Joshua McCullough. Justin Millicar was bad fast tonight up until, like a lot of these drivers, a caution ended up taking him out, and John Ward, I don't even believe, even started the race. Mechanical issues for the 92. So with that being said, at the end of the night, it was all Austin Green, barely winning it by the skin of his teeth. Hunter, appreciate you joining me up here in the booth. As always, hell of a broadcast tonight, I feel like, on both parts. What are some takeaways you can, if you're a driver tonight, what are some takeaways that you can take from this race?
Well, if I'm Austin Green or Malik, I'm going to stick with what I was doing. Obviously, it worked out for both of those guys. But very aggressive racing, from the start of the green, start of the race, drop the green. Very, very aggressive racing, a lot of 3 wide racing. So, coming in the next race, I'm going to, anticipate for that. Sometimes you get races that are just like that, and it's just luck of the draw. But going into the future races for this league, I would anticipate that, and then try to build a strategy off of there. I know it probably shaked up quite a bit of strategies towards the end of, with as many cautions as we had, people not really having to do green flag pit stops, which I don't think we saw tonight. So,
No.
just going into the next race, I just anticipate it being just a wreck fest or, a hornet's nest all race, which is what we saw tonight.
Yes, sir, but it was for me, whenever it comes to these races, just from what I've seen broadcasting wise, not just in this one, but several events, the driver who can get on and off pit road and the driver who can keep his car clean the most are more than likely the drivers who will have a chance at this. Honestly, Austin Green and Malik Ray, as far as pretty much several drivers in the top 10 did just that. I just noticed Lenny Velke, or Velke, I should say, ever how you say it. He had a rough night. At one point on his side, and able to come home 7th. So a great recovery for him. And then, well, hell, Nathan Harper, who was involved in an overtime to set us up in the last overtime, rallies back to 6th. So, I mean, just goes to show who needs a fast repair if you can stay up, if you can keep it on track. But with that being said, appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. It was a great event once we got through the cautions. With that being said, I'll say it one more time. The PGR Esports SummerSlam 499, Thursday, July 31st through Sunday, August the 3rd. The biggest race of the summer coming up, and that's where you've really seen a lot of. That's really where you've seen a lot of these Gen 6 races. And hold on, I might not be done quite yet. Hell, I'll see if I can get him in here. There he is. Alright, let's get the 3rd place driver in this. Stephen Miles, Garrett Jenkins, and Hunter Rozelle up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How y'all doing?
Well, buddy, I'll be honest with you. I looked right over your name. I apologize for that.
You good?
Buddy, you have a hand in one of the closest finishes ever on MMS and Raging Idiot Racing Network history, buddy. Was there anything you felt like you could have done different to maybe get yourself up there, maybe 2 more spots?
Nah, right there, me and my teammate Malik. So, I was just trying to be a good pusher right there. When it was just me and him, I could have been selfish and let him get side to side and try to take the 3rd lane on the outside and made it even closer. But I was really trying to give him a win there and came up short, man. Casey gave Austin a great push at the end to edge him out.
Yeah, but and again, just a little. Honestly, if there's another 500 feet, I believe Ray has it. But I wanted to ask you one question, then I got another one, driver requesting an interview. But I'll ask you this question. Throughout the night, intensity off the chain, pretty much. Survival of the fittest. At what point did you have to get into the right mindset that think, well, maybe I need to just start trying to keep this 24 car clean instead of just trying to race it up there? At what point did the mindset change to survival?
Lap one, really. Me and Malik we dropped to the back and we go to the front, drop back to the back when it started getting hectic, and more than likely a caution will come out. But I know right there towards the end, somebody got loose and I checked up too hard and lost the draft. So I needed one to get back in the race, and after that it was no more of a fuel strategy race, and it was all go. So right then you want to be ahead of the cautions. If not, you just gotta go for it in these races because everybody trying to get their money's worth, and I'm pretty sure they got it out tonight.
Everybody got their. We all got our money's worth. That's for sure. Hunter, you got any questions for Stefan real fast?
So just going off of what you said there, you were being a team player there for Malik, and a lot of these races, it's rare to see people really stick with their teammates there. So kudos to you for that. But how did you manage to make it to the end with all the carnage that we had? Because it's from the drop of the green, it was everybody for themselves and just trying to avoid it.
Slam bam.
Trying to keep your eyes out front, but at the same time in your rearview mirror, man, because once these wrecks happen, you might see it, but the guys behind you probably don't, and that's how I get the arc or breaking or whatever. I know it was one wreck in the middle where I thought I got taken out. I had to come down on somebody's door in the middle of the corner to barely miss it, and that right there could have took me out of the show. But after that, it was a lot of close calls, and you just gotta have luck on your side.
Definitely got to pray during some of these races. But
oh yeah.
Well, Stefan, first off, nice to meet you. I believe this is the first time I think I've interviewed you. I've interviewed so many people I can't keep track. It might be the second time. I can't remember. But what I like to do is iRacing much bigger as far as sponsorships and all that goes. So at this time, I like to give the drivers the chance, if there's anybody they want to shout out, friends, family, sponsors, etc. God, even if you want to. The floor is yours, buddy.
Appreciate y'all, man, for doing an awesome broadcast. Can't wait to go back and rewatch it. I've been watching our broadcast for a minute now. Y'all do an awesome job. Shout out to McCullough for putting on the league and always putting these good shows on. Shout out my teammate Malik, Laser Racing, and pretty much, everybody out here for putting on a good show for the fans. Shout out to the fans out there watching. My mom, my dad, my girlfriend, and most of all, Jesus Christ, man, for waking us up in the morning and letting us wreck cars late at night, man. That'll be it.
Yes, sir, buddy. Stefan Miles will come home tonight, finishing third, and next time he plans to go up 2 more spots. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep, he's already out of here, and then I got one more driver to interview, and then we're going to get ready to crash out. You know what I mean? Crash out ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I think we did enough crashing tonight.
I think we did too. With that being said, we're going to put in the driver to 28/59. Ain't heard nothing out of this cat in a while. Yeah. Well, if I can find him. There he is. Casey Sprinkle, Garrett Jenkins, Hunter Rozelle up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a long time no talk. How you been?
Pretty good.
Well, that's good, buddy. I know P4. Walk out with a little bit more money in your pocket. Pretty much we saw you all night. Pretty much saw you all night, just right out there in the back. Really wasn't the usual Casey Sprinkle that we know to charge up there to the front. But at what point during this whole Cartersville night did you decide maybe I need to go and get to the front.
It was honestly when I kept losing the draft. I lost the draft for like 3 restarts in a row, and I wanted to hang out in the back because I know fast repair, and I knew it was gonna be a pretty good wreck fest, or at least in the beginning. So, and I was kind of right. And then probably around halfway or lap 30 is when I wanted to be in the lead pack or be like in the top 20 or 15, and then maybe probably 10 to go is when I started making a good charge. Yeah, about 10 to go is when I started making a charge up to the front with Austin, and yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I would say 10 to go.
Well, were you hoping? Of course, still on the broadcast. I mean, you can see the finish in the background. 1/1000th of a second. Were you hoping that there was time for you to formulate a run to try to make it 3 wide or potentially even clear off of 4? What was your plan to set up the last lap on Austin Green and Malik Ray, Stephen Miles, and all of them really?
Going into 3, honestly, Steven was pushing the heck out of me, and he knocked me. Oh no, he didn't knock me, but I went to the inside. Well, he kind of got me loose, and I went to the inside. No one went with me because I mean, I wouldn't have if I was him, and I thought I was screwed because the bottom had a big run, and then Nathan jumped up on Cody, and gave me a huge shot, and then that's right there when I thought I could possibly win. But then I seen Austin got hung out, and like just I got a huge run. I was gonna slam draft him, and I did. It was kind of offset because he went high, but at no point or at no point after Malik left him, I was gonna leave Austin. But then I realized afterwards, if I did leave Austin and went 3 wide because I was running like 200, I probably had a good shot at the win. But I would rather push a teammate to the win than win by leaving my teammate. So it ended up. I thought he got second, and then going into 1, I seemed like he won, and I was so happy because it was so close.
Yeah. About as close as you can get without iRacing having to determine the winner. Of course, they can go all the way up to the 100,000 if they need to. Well, first off, like I said, it's been a long time since I interviewed you. I know I saw on the car, I feel like you're one of them preparing for the SummerSlam 40 or 499 coming up. I want to say all this practice you're getting running these money races, how's it helping you get ready for the biggest race of the summer?
Yeah, I mean, it's helping a ton, and I hope it's helping a lot of other people because I feel like I hope race ain't going to be too bad, but like I might not even make it into the main, but it's definitely helping a ton because I've been running a bunch of Jimmy's races, and then now this race tonight, and this race tonight was awesome because I got to drive with so many more people than I usually did with Jimmy, and like Malik and Cody and all the really good guys, which is tons of fun, especially when you're up front. I have a lot of fun doing that. It's just usually these races are too late for me.
Yes, sir, buddy. Hunter, you got any quick questions for Casey?
Nah, I think you pretty much covered everything there, man. But great finish. It was fun seeing you run up front there, and good job on the 4th place finish.
Thank you.
And then Casey, the last question that comes at pretty much the precursor. Is there anybody you want to shout out tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.
All my teammates, especially Austin Green there. I was kind of the one helping him, but he was helping me a lot before that. Kenny McCullough, Josh McCullough, he couldn't really even talk in Discord, but David Sheets, he finally came back. It's been a while since we've seen him. Mark Rondell, Kenny for putting on the race also, and you for broadcasting.
All right, buddy. Well, Casey Sprinkle will walk out of here tonight. Even though it's 4th, he will know that he had a hand in what will probably be the closest finish that this racing network will ever get. Casey, congratulations on 4th. Look forward to seeing what you can do in a couple of weeks at the 499, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. With that being said, Hunter, I don't think nobody else wanting an interview. Nobody else is in the waiting room. So, with that being said, Hunter, again, appreciate you coming up here helping me call this race. Nice sometimes I have a second voice up here to analyze something. And with that being said, Hunter will be competing tomorrow night. Inspired Cup Series playoffs continue for North Wilkesboro. Shane Hard knows that he is facing will be going for a championship a couple weeks down the line. And until then, appreciate everybody stopping by, taking time out your Sunday night and well into your Monday morning to hang out with us and watch MMS. And I will see everybody tomorrow night. Appreciate your time. Have a good night.